February 8th through 14th is National Freedom to Marry Week. Hi, I'm Josh Friedis, the Advocacy Director for Equal Rights Washington. March 12th is Equality Day. This is when members of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender community, joined by our straight allies, go to Olympia, the state's capital. In the morning, there's an optional lobby training. At noon, there's a wonderful rally where opinion leaders and clergy members talk about why they support marriage equality. In the afternoon, we'll lobby our state senators and representatives on a wide range of LGBT civil rights issues. This year, the bills and issues we will lobby on include a marriage equality bill, a bill that will expand the rights and responsibilities available to registered domestic partners, a bill that will improve the state's anti-bullying statute, and a law that would add gender identity and expression to the state's malicious harassment law, more commonly known as the hate crimes law. In addition, because of the economic downturn, we'll be lobbying our legislators to ask them to ensure that there's adequate funding for HIV, AIDS, prevention, and services money. You can register for Equality Day online at equalrightswashington.org. And if you're a member of a house of worship or a civic group, please ask them to co-sponsor the day as well. We need everybody, gay and straight, to come to Olympia on March 12th. Now let me talk a little bit about where we are in the struggle for marriage equality. As you may recall, in 2006, a deeply divided Washington Supreme Court issued a ruling that upheld the state's so-called Defense of Marriage Act. This law prohibits same-sex couples from legally marrying in the state of Washington. After that ruling was issued, Equal Rights Washington held a series of town hall meetings all across the state. We spoke to other stakeholder organizations, and we asked you, our tens of thousands of advocates, for your thoughts. Out of these discussions, 4 guiding principles emerged. First, we should continue the struggle for full marriage equality. Second, in the absence of marriage rights, gay and lesbian families were suffering greatly, and we should immediately work to create a system of domestic partnerships to provide basic protections to our families while we continue the work for marriage equality. Third, there was a strong recognition that although marriage equality would help many gay and lesbian individuals and families, it would by no means meet all the needs of LGBT individuals and families, and we should continue to pursue a broad-based legislative and public policy agenda that would include such things as transgender rights, meeting the needs of older LGBT Washingtonians, and reducing bullying in Washington schools, and other issues like access to health care. Lastly, we were asked to redouble our efforts to broaden our movement to make sure that we fully engaged our straight allies, people of faith, and people of color, many of whom, of course, are in fact members of the LGBT community. So today, here's where we stand. In 2007 and 2008, we were successful in passing domestic partnership bills. And we were able to integrate the Religious Coalition for the Freedom to Marry and the Legal Marriage Alliance into Equal Rights Washington so we can better support communities who are working with us. But let's be very clear. Even once we pass a Domestic Partnership Expansion Bill of 2009, which would provide gay and lesbian couples all the rights and benefits of marriage under state law, we still will not have parity or equality. After all, the Domestic Partnership Expansion Bill makes no attempt whatsoever to confer the 1,138 federal protections of marriage, like Social Security survivors benefits, Social Security spousal benefits, equal treatment under the IRS tax code, veterans benefits, and immigration rights. And language matters. The very use of different language to describe gay and lesbian families who form loving, lasting, committed relationships and our heterosexual peers stigmatizes gay and lesbian families as, at most, second-class citizens. And there's the issue of portability. Every state and country has marriage. Very few have domestic partnerships or civil unions. So other states and countries don't know how to treat domestic partners or people who have civil unions, whatever those are. So we need to talk to everybody we know about marriage equality and gay and lesbian families. One of the things that research is showing is that the movable middle, people who are willing to support marriage equality, say that they have gay and lesbian friends and family members, but they're not talking to them about the issue. So we have to talk to everyone we know in personal terms about why we support marriage equality and what it would mean to us, even if the conversation is a little bit frightening. And I understand that for many people it is, because there's always the fear of rejection. So let me point out, here is a place where our straight allies can help a lot. If you hear somebody say, hey, I know gay and lesbian people, but I don't think they care about marriage equality because they're not talking to me about it, say, well, why don't you ask your gay and lesbian friends and family members about the issue? Because they're probably not talking to you because they're afraid. In addition, what we're also learning is that when our straight allies talk in very personal terms about their gay friends and family members, our straight allies are as credible as gay and lesbian people are in explaining why marriage equality is so important. And in addition to having verbal conversations over a cup of coffee at the dinner table, there are many other ways we can have conversations. For example, you can put a marriage equality bumper sticker on your car. This way, every trip to the grocery store to pick up your kids at Sunday school or Hebrew school becomes an advocacy opportunity. We have a wonderful marriage equality postcard. You can go to farmers markets, arts fairs, to your social hour after church and collect postcards. And that collecting of the postcard, that itself is a conversation, especially if you say something like, would you sign a marriage equality postcard? I'm the mother of a gay son, and it would mean so much to me if my son has the same rights and protections as my husband and I have. After all, his love and his relationship is equally as valuable as mine. So it's very easy to have the relationships. We'll of course give these postcards to your legislators. We're doing another really cool project called 1 Minute for Marriage. You can do what I'm doing right now. Just sit in front of the camera. Talk for a minute about why you support marriage equality. We'll send these little videos to your legislators and also post them online. We want everyone to do these videos, gay and straight, old and young. What the polling is showing us right now is that today in Washington, about 66% of Washington voters want gays and lesbians to have the rights and benefits of marriage. That's why the domestic partnership registry bills have been moving so smoothly through the legislature. But only 37% of the electorate wants gay and lesbians to have a legal status called marriage. So what we really need to do is explain to people why anything less than marriage will neither meet the legal needs or provide gay and lesbian individuals and families with the dignity that we deserve. And the best way to do this is to simply talk in very personal terms. We need to make the emotional arguments. We need to explain to people why not recognizing our loving, lasting, committed relationships with marriage hurts our families and denies us the legal protections that other families take for granted. So although it's sometimes easier and most comfortable to talk about notions like simple equality or intellectual arguments, talk about what it would mean to you and your family. So on National Freedom to Marry Week, I simply ask you to redouble your efforts, speak to every single person you know, and don't just do it this week, do it the other 51 weeks of the year as well. Together, we will win.